Silver Springs Road, San Antonio, Texas board meeting. The December 17th regular meeting of the East Central ISD Board of Trustees will be held in person at District Board Room. The sign-up sheet for public comments will be available at the door. Anyone wishing to make public comments must sign up prior to the meeting. Subjects to be discussed or considered upon which any formal action may be taken are listed below. Items do not have to be taken in the same order as shown on this meeting notice unless removed from the consent agenda. Items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on one at a time. Ms. Friesenheim, can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ginger Friesenheim, I'm here. Victor Garza,
Here.
John Haskell, James Mulkey,
Here.
Dale Brazil, Amelia Carrasco,
I'm here.
Monique Presses.
Here.
Madam President, I have 12.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the prayer and pledge. Mr. Toscano?
Yeah, I'll turn it over to Ms. Burke.
Good evening, Mr. Toscano, Madam President, and members of the board. It is my honor to come before you this evening and present a few of our amazing students from Tyler Forest Elementary. We are so thankful to have them and their families here tonight to present for you.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the pledges. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
on
the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Please bow your heads. Please bow your heads for a moment of prayer. Dear Lord Jesus, thank you for our family, teachers, and friends, and for everyone joining us tonight. Thank you for being faithful and helping us continue to thrive this school year. We ask for wisdom to continue walking in love, peace, and unity in all that we do. We especially ask you to keep us all healthy and safe. Give us the strength and grace to have a successful year as we strive to grow individually and as a family. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
You may be seated. Our 4th and 5th grade choir was recently featured in a high school musical, A Christmas Carol, in which they sang the song Christmas Through the Eyes of a Child. Tonight we'd like to share this song with you, led by 2 of our choir students, 4th grade Natalia Dulcinea and 5th grader Dante Gomez.
That's such a beautiful song to portray what we all believe so much in these children and the eyes that they look through. And that was just a perfect song for Christmas. What they see through their eyes is what's the most important thing to us. So that was a beautiful song. It got me all in my Christmas feels. Anyways, next we have a happy occasion. We're going to be a couple of new board trustee and reinstated board trustees going to be taking the oath of office, and I believe we're going to start with Mr. Grasso.
In the name and by the authority
And with authority and by the authority
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas, I, Guido Carrasco,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully execute the duties
execute
of the office of ECISD Board of Trustees, single member District 6 of the state of Texas,
to the best of my ability preserve,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of the state of Texas.
and of the state of Texas. So help me God.
Okay, and then we have another oath of office, which will be for Mr. Santos, our new board member. Please, Mr. Santos.
In the name and by the authority
In the name and by the authority
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
I,
I,
David Santos Jr.,
David Santos Jr.,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office of ECISD Board of Trustees,
of the office of ECISD Board Trustee,
Single Member District 4
single member District 4
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
and will to the best of my ability preserve,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state,
and of the state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
And then that brings us to a very hard and heartfelt moment where we will be saying goodbye, not goodbye, just see you later, to Mr. Vic Garza, who has served us loyally and lovingly with care and support for this district for many, many years. So Vic, can you come on down? We have something for you.
We have a few things we'd like to say about you, Mr. Garza. Victor Garza has always been a true servant leader. First, he served his country as a member of the U.S. Air Force before his eventual retirement after 35 years. For years, he annually has served his local community by dressing up as Santa Claus for the annual Christmas parade by handing out presents to the children and bringing joy to many others. Additionally, he began working for the Spurs organization to ensure that Spurs fans had the best accommodations and service while attending home games and continued to bring happiness to all of those that he encountered. In 2005, Mr. Garza gracefully stepped into the role as a trustee for East Central Independent School District as a trustee at a very tumultuous time for the district. His steadfastness and commitment allowed ECISD to weather the difficult storms and allowed our district to come out stronger and more united on the other side. Throughout his tenure, Victor Garza has been actively involved in the TASB Delegate Assembly, representing ECISD with consistency. Annually, during the December board meeting, Mr. Garza would bring a smile to everyone's face as he dressed up as Santa Claus, while fully assuming a role of Saint Nick throughout the board meeting, and without fail, he would hand out candy canes to those in attendance. For 20 years, Victor Garza has governed and led with humility, genuine care, and service to others, and an unwavering loyalty to the students and staff of ECISD. Thank you, Mr. Garza, for your dedication, and we wish you all the best with your future endeavors. Thank you. We also know that he had to have a strong support system at home. The amount of time that he committed throughout these full years of service. So with his family also, please stand. We would love to recognize you and thank you for allowing us to So at this time, we're going to recognize our East Central Hornet football team. So we've got some players that are in attendance. So, there we go. So we got Joe Huff at the court. Come on up. We got Braylon Blair. And we got Ray Blair. So our coaches that are in attendance are Coach Joe Hubbard, head coach. Marcelius Hubbard, our defensive coordinator, and Corey Johnson, one of my former students, as the offensive coordinator. So we have a few things to say. So don't run off yet. We just want to say a few things about the players. So in the 2024 East Central Football Hornet team had one of the best seasons in Hornet football history, finishing with a 9-4 overall record and a 4-2 district record. Their season showcased impressive performances, including notable playoff wins versus Laredo United South in the bi-district round and Westaco in the area round. This team represented their family, school, and community with class and dignity on and off the field all year long. We are incredibly proud of this team's accomplishments this season. We know that winning is a byproduct of hours of hard work and dedication in the off-season, in spring ball in April and May, summer strength conditioning in June and July, 2-a-days in August, and through daily practice, August through December. Success is the compounding result of consistency of effort and the unrelenting focus to become the best you are capable of becoming. Most importantly, these student athletes that are before you today that are representing the East Central football team are the embodiment of what we want for every Hornet athlete in ECISD. They are better people first, better students second, and better athletes third in that order. Congratulations. We're very proud of you. Way to go, team. I don't know if we do we have any family or friends in the audience that we can recognize? Thank you for your sacrifice too. We're good. Thank you guys very much.
Okay, so we're going to take a Okay, I'm gonna call the meeting back to order. Agenda item number 6 is public comments. And at this point, we have no public comments. And the next item is PHCS Public Hearing Financial Integrity Rating Systems of Texas First Report. Mr. Casano?
Yes, trustees, you'll see the entire 23-24 first report and subsequent rating in your electronic packet. So by way of reminder, this is the accountability system for our financial integrity that we receive annually. It has 20 financial indicators such as administrative cost expenditures, the accuracy of the district financial information that is submitted annually to the agency, and any financial vulnerabilities or material weaknesses in internal controls as determined by an external auditor. As a result, the district is assigned one of 4 possible letter grades, A, B, C, or F, and it coincides with a rating of superior, above standard achievement, meet standard, or substandard. Central ISD this year received another for the 22nd consecutive year, A, which is superior achievement. And in this particular year, we're very pleased by the work of Judy and the team that hired in this office and all budget stewards in the district. Resulted in a perfect score of 100, which is very good. So, Madam President, as part of statutory requirements, the board is to hold a public hearing regarding the annual first report.
Yes, sir. So in regard to item number 7, PHCS Public Hearing Financial Integrity Rating Systems of Texas First Report, do we have anybody here that would like to speak to that item? So with that in mind, we'll move on to item 8, which is trustee reports. These are updates regarding East Adams District and community activities that the trustees attend. And participate in.
Social media. So I don't know. Today there's a lot. Okay, Mo, building here.
Now those things. I've been getting drug around, I'm a coach. So I've been taking her up for the team, but.
Bad things to do.
Yeah.
Love to see.
Real nice. So I'll just echo what we were talking about earlier. We went to several plays, we went to see the Christmas Carol and then lots of choir programs that were real nice. You know, the kids were just so cute, especially the teeny weeny ones over there at Highland Forest. They were just adorable, and they cared more about dancing than anything else, so they were super cute. And so got to go to lots of things, just very grateful that we're able to see those things and we're invited and get an opportunity to share in the kids' excitement over Christmas. It was real nice. Just got here, so I don't know what he's saying. He said, not yet. He's looking forward to it.
I'm not looking forward to it, reaching out to the schools in my particular area and around the district as well. I will be seeing quite a bit of that side in sales, and I have to do a lot of showmanship, so I will be around quite a bit. So I'm happy to be here and ready to get to work for you all.
My trustee report is a show of appreciation. I'd like to thank all the principals of the schools that I visited this semester for the warm reception that I received from you and your staff, even the time that you took out to show me around and showcase your school. I really want to thank you and I appreciate visiting those schools, and I'm looking forward to visiting them again. I also like to send a very special thanks to Mrs. Irvin, because she left my gift. But anyway, anyway, you still cool. I still love you. Yeah, you still love me. I'd like to send a special thanks to Coach Ariola. I don't think she's here or not, but I just want to thank her for the care that she showed me when I was attending athletic events. Even during the postseason, she made sure that trustees had the tickets that they request. She made sure that we had VIP parking, and not only her staff. Whenever they see me, they recognize me, and they always come and ask me what do I need, and I appreciate that, but she's not here. I would also also like to thank two of my trustees, Mo and Ginger. It's been so generous of picking me up whenever there's a convention or even an athletic event. And they come and get me and think we go together. And I enjoy traveling through the postseason with those two ladies during the postseason. I also like to thank Cameron, because I know I'm a pain when every time I get something I don't understand. So I would call her and she would download it or she would print it and she made sure that I had what I wanted. So I want to thank her. She would print my passport, although she wanted to know where I was going. I'd like to thank my superintendent. Also, my wife was in the hospital about 3 or 4 days, and he called me and caught me off surprise, by surprise, and he said, "Hey, Coach, I know you can eat hospital food. I'm gonna bring you down," and I really appreciate that. So I really just showing some appreciation to all the kindness I had from everybody.
Yes, so you get my new word.
You know, right along with you.
And that's my trustee report, show of appreciation. I appreciate y'all.
Very enjoyable. Mr. Leos?
So, I kind of feel bad, I got all these pictures now, but, well, I'll make this quick. So, regional playoffs, seeing these young men and the coaches, the bond that they have is just amazing. And being able to be part of seeing these young men and the character that they show, something I shared with Coach Herbert, was that I was proud of the fact that the way that they played the game, but I was more proud of how they held their heads and never lowered their standards, and their character showed on the scoreboard or off the scoreboard. When they lost the last game they played, they still I saw the character in them, and it was a high character. And that's something that means way more than all the trophies and all the accolades. Seeing these young men grow into the young men that they're coming. At the on the right there, that was the fall banquet, sports banquet. I'm sorry, and some of the young men I took pictures of the prayers that they administered at the beginning and at the end. The young lady, it was outstanding. You can tell a lot about a person in the way that they communicate. The young man there next to the trophy with his hat, he's got a gift of preaching. I tell you, his prayer, I was ready to pick up an offering. Let's go. But we had a great time there. The hospitality again. I would say a shout out to Mr. Ariola, to Coach Ariola, and to all of the East Central staff on the way that they treat not only board members. I see how they treat others, and that's very impressive. Just great. Boys varsity basketball, we got to go and see them. They played with a lot of heart, a lot of energy. They were playing without their starting point guard or other players because they were still in the football playoffs. We got a chance to go see them play, and they played lights out. Same thing, character. Highland Forest sing along, enjoyed it. I wanted to say a special thank you to Ms. Irvin, Ms. Hart, and also Ms. Thompson. They just put on a spectacular performance area, accommodate everybody. The standing room only, they do it 4 nights. I went 2 of the 4 nights. I have 2 grandsons, and they're 2 different days. That's my family there on the bottom right, and we were just overjoyed seeing our young babies growing up and singing, and the Christmas carols that they got to sing just blessed my heart, and all the little ones up there just singing their hearts out. So what a blessing it was. That's some more pictures there of Highland Forest, and then we went to the Oakcrest Posada. And growing up, that was something I used to do. We actually would go to people's house, right, and have the opportunity to do that part. The sing along there was great too. The young man, the mariachi there, I don't know if you can see him, boy, he was good, and his voice was outstanding, but his stage presence, boy, he got into it. near this extravagant and stuff like that. We had a smaller stage, but we had a good time growing up. Next one. Christmas Carol, that was outstanding as usual. The performance, these young people, I mean, it's hard to even fathom that they're high school kids because their performance level was just amazing, and the stage presence, and then again the hospitality. Ms. Mize is always so gracious and just treats us, first class, and he does that to everybody. That's what I love to see. Then Pancakes with Santa, I had the awesome privilege of walking around with my grandsons, and I got to sit next to the Santa himself, right? And I said, you kind of look familiar. I think he made the sled. But great opportunity that we had to go, and then my wife was helping out there in the Athletic Booster Club. They had this little table that they did some knickknacks and stuff like that. All around great thing, opportunity that we had for getting out and meeting people and talking to people. And I think that was it. We had a lot of other things that I didn't get to highlight, but love December because it's a busy time of year, and we get out as much as possible and have a good time doing it. So my wife is usually by my side. A couple of events it was empty. It felt weird. But anyway, nonetheless, thank you.
Perfect. All right, so we got all those.
I got one more person.
Sure.
Thank Chief, come on about Chief is back there, he saw me. I want to thank him for having such a great sense of humor. Wherever he
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it. I look forward to it every Cowboy game. Believe me.
Yeah, I said you got the highest back there.
Thank you.
That's awesome. All right, so next item on the agenda is item 9. Actually, it's 9.1, is the board goals update, Mr. Toscano.
Yeah, we'll call Jonathan, Jennifer, and the team up to provide the board with your monthly update on academic progress and overall progress towards the goals that we have laid out for this year. So, Jonathan, Jennifer, over to you.
Madam President, Mr. Toscano, members of the board, thanks for the opportunity to share a quick update on our goals. I kept this slide especially for our new members to review what we're trying to do, get in some detailed data a little bit, swim around, look at some data over time. That was one of the requests early on was, hey, you showed us some numbers, but can you show some context? So we tried to add that to it. And then we're focused right now on 4 of our big goals. So we're going to get into attendance, discipline, our college career military readiness, and then we'll end with achievement. And can I give a disclaimer and just say that while I believe we can speak to anything, hopefully that you guys ask, we're not experts on all things attendance, discipline, or CCMR. Is that okay? Just to confess. So there's a lot of teams, a lot of people working hard, and while we get to stand up here and try to convey as much as we can. I believe we can answer anything. Is that okay? Just to say. And if I need to, I'll phone a friend out there and let them help us out a little bit. Okay, so attendance, our goal is 94%. And we started looking at that in the meeting in the 10th week, and we were at 93.7%. And what we tend to see is over time, attendance goes down, and everybody wants to come the first week of school. First month of school is really good, and then slowly it comes down over time. And in the last meeting, what we noticed was it's actually gone up, and so that was a little unusual and a really nice thing. But through the 17th week, that last full week, before we kind of turned everything into this meeting, we were holding at 93.6%. And we did have a campus who went up from last time, that was Oak Crest. So great job, Oak Crest. And we did break out all of the data there for the last 3 months. And what you'll see there is the percent is the change from last year through the same time frame. So Cass Lead, that first round, is up 2.4% as of the same time frame in the school year last year. And so you'll see that they're in green because they're really high, and you'll see kind of schools like East Central High School that are really up a bunch, and then we've got some in yellow that are up noticeably, but not quite as much. And you'll notice that we no longer have any red. And so everybody up there is actually at or higher than the level we were at before. And so John's team and our campus people, our APs, our principals have been working really hard, making sure that we get all the kids. One lesson I believe we learned in COVID was that if kids can't come into school and get access to the great things we do, that kids don't progress at the same level. And so attendance really makes a big difference. To me, it was one of the best affirmations. I know it was a tough time, but it was a real affirmation that what we do makes a difference, and that when we don't get that exposure to the great things that we have going on, and our kids will not progress socially, emotionally, math and reading in all the areas, all the things. And so, just a note saying, hey, everybody's up, or the same. And then discipline data. So discipline data, our goal was to reduce discipline by 30%. So 30%. And when we looked at the 10th week, we were down 10%. So we were partway, but we weren't quite there. Because that's some good questions. We looked at some data on some specific things. The team worked some. We cleaned up a little bit of the data too. We noticed that there were some discrepancies, some small things. And now, to the 14th week, we were down 33%. So we're a little ahead of our goal. And then through the 17th week, so our new update is we're at 32% ahead of where we were the same time last year. So 32%. So we are on track to meet that goal as well. And so that's more good news. And the plug I want to give there is I know our team, Sarah from our team does a ton of work with campuses around social, emotional, and those things, and having great campus systems. And we know that when they have great, clear rules and they really enforce that, and everybody's pulling together, the stronger that is. What we see, the stronger that is, the less we see discipline. We have those things. There's always going to be some things going on that are going to be broken. People are working really hard to make those goals happen. And again, what we know is that if kids are having discipline consequences and they're out of the classroom, they won't have access to the learning. And so this is another way to kind of push on making sure that every kid has that opportunity to learn every day. And here's our breakdown by campus. The green ones are the ones that are below 70% where they were last year. So that's huge. That's huge. You'll see CAST has been holding really steady in the green. What I want you to see with East Central High School is that downward trend. We talked early on that the cell phones, the cell phone issues early on was a bit of a spike. And then there was some kids out of area board. We think that we were monitoring that a little bit more closely. We said we're hoping that that early push might cause a little bit of a spike, but it will come down. And it looks like that data is starting to come down. So if you kind of project out from 85 and 77 and keep going, we think the East Central High School will get to the target. You can see our middle schools are just above the goal, just a little bit off. Legacy is really close. Heritage is also a couple points. And then you'll see a lot of our elementaries are really low numbers, and some of them are right around the goal. And so below 70 is where we're aiming for. And so again, the nice thing there is that everybody is better than they were last year. East Central High School making big moves, and then on track to meet their goals with Cass Lee, Harmony, Oakcrest, and Mekong Valley and Solana are all on track. We're going to try, our CCMR friends could present this one, so I'm going to, I do work really closely with them, so I'm going to take this first part and dedicate and talk a little bit about some of the moves we're making. So East Central High School, last time when we talked, they were at 39% of our kids were either college, career, or military ready. And really, the military readiness comes in at the end of the year. They enrolled in the military, so this, I guess. So 5% are currently at career ready. And the reason that number is low is because that really comes from those industry-based certifications, those tests you take late in spring. So there aren't as many opportunities to be career ready this time of year. So at the end of the year, that number goes up a lot. So the college ready is the one that we're watching and pushing on. And so we're now at 40% ready. So for context, we were much lower when we started our big push last year in that fourth quarter. So we're way ahead of where we were. We were hoping to get far, and we are much higher than we were in high school. But really great news, and better news, that we past, they were at 55% last time. Every one of our seniors now is college curriculum day ready and passed. So that was a remarkable accomplishment last year, but they set a new record this year already before 24 closed out, reaching that 100% mark. And 22% of their seniors are currently career ready by state's definition.
Some current, interventions and next steps. So the high school, we have what's called high time. It is a period during the day where students essentially can get something that they need, whether it's intervention and additional academic time, things like that. And so we're in the process of redesigning that time during the spring. We have 109 students that don't have an indicator, and we put them into a high class with a teacher who have proven track record of success last year with students, so they can listen to changes. And then students are beginning to earn their industry-based tests moving into the spring semester. And right now, we anticipate 150 students earning those IBCs in the spring. Our juniors are currently prepping for their ACT test that they'll take in the spring, and they're doing that through an ingenuity course. Our 9th and 10th graders are in some ingenuity courses getting ready for the Texas Success Initiative Assessment, the TSI, and that's a college readiness assessment that SD has. We're going into post-secondary. And then once we get our STAR results in the EOC in December, we'll assess where our students are. We'll take a deep dive into the data and then make some additional adjustments for students that might benefit from additional academic support.
So diving into our achievement data a little bit deeper, I'm going to ruin part of the surprise and say that Jen last time talked about how K2 we're doing some different things and there's going to be some good news there, and so that'll be like one of the last things I show in this section before she talks, and then I'll have a couple closing remarks. And I've got the 4 hotspots where we're kind of watching data a little bit more closely. So some areas where we've struggled in the past and the data wasn't quite as strong as we're looking for this year at times. And so I want to give you updates on those four areas. Just to reacclimate, this is going to be 6th grade math. On the left it says math 1. We refer to the middle school classes as math 1, math 2, and algebra because they're that accelerated course. So all of our kids are able to finish that first year of high school math before they leave 8th grade. And so you'll see their goals on the far left, and then our current data kind of showing, if we smushed all that together, how's it going? So there's a little graphic representation. You'll see the beginning of year data, and we did a common assessment in October. We gave the state's interim test in November, and then our most recent December data is looking up. And so we made some adjustments to things we're looking at too. It seems like we saw some really positive data back on that. I do want to say that we think that those scores are a little higher than what we, like, no data is perfect, if I can say it that way. And I wish we had like a test where you can just prick the kid's finger and you can see exactly where they are. But what I wanted to put a little note on there and say is that we're proud of the work that they're doing, and we're optimistic, and that's really exciting data. But I don't want to get too carried away in the data and say that, hey, if we feel like we've already accomplished all of our goals, it's going to definitely be an amazing year for 6th grade math. So I'm going to keep that one on there for a little longer and make sure that we get multiple data points saying that that's as strong as we think. But I did want to show the good news that we are seeing an upward trajectory there overall. We've had a longer time where we struggled with the 7th grade math. So on the left, you can say that 2, because they're doing 7th grade math and 8th grade math, kind of half of 7th grade math and 8th grade math together. And this data we've seen historically kind of get deeper as the year goes on, goes down, and it's usually one of our lowest data points. And so we are seeing that the data is coming down. Jen's going to talk a little bit about some things we're doing, but I did want you to keep an awareness on the 7th grade math data. 3rd grade literacy. So this one, it's been a little bit of a mixed bag. You'll kind of see like I can't help but think like Charlie Brown looking up and down, and so we know we talked about in previous ones, and we think that part of the issue coming into third grade is that more of our kids that we're comfortable with are leaving second grade without those decoding skills, which as you switch from kind of learning to read to learn, it really kind of catches the data here. So that's one of the reasons why we can focus on K2 is we want to make sure that they're coming into third grade in great shape. And so you can kind of see that data is not where we're hoping to be yet. But what I want to do is I want to also look across, like if you look at the common assessment in October, so this gray column here, and I'm just going to use the district one as an example. So if we were at 34% at approaches and 13% at meets right here at the bottom. Oh, it's not showing up on the screen very well, is it? At the bottom of those CFA. And if I come to the most recent common assessment, it went up to 41 and 12%. So you can see that there's some small movement there, but we're not at that level that we're hoping to be at. We will next time look at middle of year screening data. So the older kids, so most of our screening is stuff that we were just finishing up like this week. And so next board meeting, we'll be able to give you better data on it, and we'll be able to kind of see a context where it'll be in contrast to the beginning of the year. So it'll be apples to apples scores, kind of on the same scale. And so we'll get a much clearer picture of how that third grade is doing. I did, I forgot, we had fourth grade math also. So fourth grade math, I wanted to do a similar thing. So on the left of it says fourth grade math, you look at our goals on the left. We've got a beginning of your screening, a common assessment, and we just gave another common assessment. And you'll see that this one is not, we're not quite on track to meet those goals. I did want to point out, like, while I know Brittany's going to say, hey, well, I'm not where I want to be yet. I did want to point out that they are noticeably higher at 75. Is Brittany making faces at the other end? Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. But I do want to say that there is this bright spot in that there is some good news there, and we are still working on it. I think Jen's going to talk about some of those moves we're making in response to this data. And then last time we talked about K2 literacy and how important it was. And so we have ones for kinder, first, and second grade. And the kinder data looks really similar to this second grade data. And so on the left, you see it says second grade literacy. And what I want you to see here is we did the screener. So we finished that screener data early enough where I could include it in this month's data. And so what I want you to look at is the first column where it says the beginning of your data is like 50% at approaches. And then over on the far right in the screener data, that last approaches, we're up to 57%. So we've got 7% more on track. And then the meets group went from 38 up to 43%. So we gained another 5% there. And then we went from 16% at masters up to 20% at masters. And so the data here seems to be responding to the moves that we were making. And so remember Jen talked about some of that small group instruction and how we changed some of the minutes and some of the time and how we allocated things. It really seems to make a big impact in second grade. Kinder seems like it's up also. First grade, we didn't see as big of a impact as we saw at second grade like this. But overall, the K2 data seems to be coming up, and so that's a positive. That's a real positive, and one of those moves that we made this year. And so it's the strongest data we've seen since we've done that assessment, and so the biggest move we've had. I'm going to let Jen talk a little bit about some of the moves that we're making.
So our hunch kind of paid off last month with getting that additional time to kinder and first grade to have some additional small group instruction time. So we are replicating that intervention in grades 2 through 5. So our specialists working through and our leaders and coaches working through pieces of the curriculum that can come out and maybe put somewhere else so that we can secure an additional 20 minutes per day for teachers to work with students on whatever it is in foundational literacy or comprehension that they need to make the growth that we're expecting. We talked about ordering STAR practice materials for 3rd through 5th grade so that our students can get more practice and repetition on what those questions are going to look like on the state assessment. Those materials have been ordered, and some of them are digital, so we already have access, and some of them are paper coming in, so those are, we're just waiting for those to come in. We're adjusting campus supports all around for the spring semester based on the data. So we have instructional specialists that kind of deploy out and work in various capacities at all the different campuses. And so right now we're looking at all the data to say where are our biggest needs, where are our hot spots, where do we stand to make the biggest impact and difference. And instead of every campus getting the same level and time of support, if something is needed somewhere else, we're gonna deploy more troops for more time, at that campus to be able to go in and support, and someone else that might not need as much support might need a little bit less. And so we're working through all that right now as the data is coming in. We're also looking at what our system allows for test preparation. So what strategies are we using in the classroom to get students ready? What does our review look like? A lot of times we do like a 10 days countdown to STAR, so making sure that we're using effective practices and really looking at the data to see which standards do we get the most bang for our buck that we can really lean into. If we concentrate on these 4 standards in this grade level, there's going to be more questions asked about them. So how do we really make sure that students are prepared for that, working on that. And then campus coaches and facilitators, mostly our literacy coaches, academic facilitators, and academic deans are usually leading the efforts for quarterly planning. That's when teachers have a day where students are not in the classroom, it's our plan of innovation, district plan of innovation, and they really start to dig into the standards and the units that they're going to be teaching up and coming. And that's quite a bit of work for some of our deans and our literacy coaches and our academic facilitators. We cover so many content areas. So our CIA staff is going to be coming up with like content highlights for each unit going into the quarter to kind of hand those over to the campus admin team to say, hey, keep this on your radar. Like this is a tough skill that's coming up in 4th grade in this unit, or this piece might get missed. We want to make sure that we really pay attention to this. And so kind of like little Cliff Notes version to help set them up for success. It's something we did a couple years ago. Campuses thought it was really beneficial in that planning, so we're bringing that back right now.
To close with this slide, we do have links here to, this is our internal link to all of the data that you're looking at there. So if you click on the elementary literacy, it'll show you every grade level and all the assessments and where all the data is. And so I wanted you to know that if you want to dig more into it, I can spend all night talking about it, but I know I want to get to the rest of the agenda and go home. So, but I didn't want to hold anything back. So if you're interested, we do have all the links there. You can see every test score. The questions can be answered for you about any of the goals that we talked about today.
I have one. If you go back where Jim was talking about providing campus coaches, facilitators, unit and content highlights, is that everybody across the board regardless of, what campus they're on or what grade they're in?
Yeah, so right now we'll be focused on the same long-term goals that we have. So we kind of know where we're prioritizing. So we've got some specialists that support just elementary or just secondary. We've got some that support K-12. So depending on what they support and looking at what our biggest needs are, we kind of prioritize those grades and content areas. So like 4th grade literacy, 4th grade math is definitely something that's going to give us some additional support. 5th grade science, some of those pieces. So it kind of depends, but everyone has access to all of them. And so the quickest that our specialists can crank those out and get them ready will just depend on how we get done. Our goal is always to get through all of it, but sometimes we have to think about that opportunity cost. And in order to get every single one finished, that pulls them off of campus support. So you got to think about, is it more beneficial for this person to maybe get this campus coaching teachers for a couple days? What happens if we pull them off and then they're doing, this work? So we're trying to get it all done, hoping to get it all done, but we have a prioritized list to make sure that the strongest needs get addressed first.
Anybody else have any questions? All right. Thank you so much.
progress there in the steel up, as well as polishing the concrete, working towards the interior of the building, where we're putting the mechanical systems up through the floor, that suspended floor system, and into the walls and stuff. So we'll start seeing some drywall, et cetera, going in there before too long as well. Exterior sheathing, so they're getting those walls.
We get connectivity tomorrow, Mr. Thomas, can you share that drone video with the camera with the trustees?
Yes, sir. Victory Elementary School. You can see the site there. We're starting to get some of that site work. They've mobilized. They're present there. We're starting to make some progress on the site. Quite a bit more than you see that field, if you will, over there. A lot of those trees are starting to come down. To get the site prepared, we're going to start working on the roadwork as well. We've got the road coming in front of that property and the mobilization and work on the site itself. CTE building, we're still in the permitting phase with the county and the transportation facility. We're working on the plans on that. We got the first numbers back. We've got a little work to do on that one to get those more in line with what we think they need to be, but we're making progress on that one. John, any questions?
One question on the, back to the CPE building.
Yes.
Is that the one right by the John Wayne? That's what I wish.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have to mobilize, get everything ready for the site, get started, and unfortunately, we got caught in the city for about 3 months, and now we're in the county for about, again, 3 months. Yeah, yes, sir.
Anybody else? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, appreciate it. Okay, and so the next item is 9.4, upcoming events, Mr. Tisdale.
Yeah, trustees, just wanted to point out a couple of items in December and January. Just a reminder that the Ag Show, the annual Ag Show, kicks off Ag Show season on Friday, the 20th, and runs through the 21st. So we appreciate the board and staff having a chance to stop by and say hello and congratulate all the kids that successfully raised their own projects in their show. Transition will be closed for the Christmas break. And then we'll start on the 22nd and run through January 6th where classes resume. In January, your next regularly scheduled board meeting is on January 16th. There is a student and staff holiday, Martin Luther King Day, on the 20th of January. And then, speaking of performances on the 23rd, I would like to call your attention to the district musical, which is a compilation of all grade levels of students. So it's very exciting. That's at 7 o'clock.
Anybody have any questions about the calendar, dates?
I was looking for this, and I just found one day.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is number 10, executive session, 10.1, Texas Government Code 551.074. The board will convene to executive session for personnel matters. Okay, the board returned from closed session at 8:42 PM. No action was taken in the closed meeting. Next item on the agenda, since we don't have Wi-Fi.
No, we
It's back up.
Oh, it's
It
not?
is?
Try it.
Well, that'd be
Okay.
fantastic.
All right.
Is it?
I don't know, not yet. Maybe so. Okay.
Mine probably died by now. Oh, I didn't know. So, agenda is an action agenda. It's section 11.1, consideration and possible action regarding termination of probationary contract employee. Mr. Chacon?
Madam President, I recommend to terminate the probationary contract of Donna Pastrana effective at the end of the 24-25 school year. I furthermore move that the board direct the superintendent to deliver written notice to said employee of the board's decision.
Thank you. The superintendent has made a recommendation. Do I have a motion? And do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion from Ms. Friesenhan and a second from Mr. Emilio Carrasco. All those in favor? Okay. All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. The next item on the agenda is item 11.2, approval of architectural design and construction services, work related to the new high school. Mr. Toscano?
Yes, ma'am. Trustees, if you'll recall, the board authorized for the design of high school number 2 to begin and move through November. The board authorized at a cost not to exceed $1.2 million. With the bond failure in November and in an effort to continue to maintain the timeline necessary to open that school should the community pass a future bond. The district feels like we must maintain the timeline of design as we have been. So we feel like it's prudent to continue design through April, which would require board approval and an extension of the not to exceed terms. In this particular case, we're asking for an additional $2.33 million to continue design and associated engineering, civil engineering scope through April. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
Just one, that's an additional 2.33 on top of?
Yes,
To
sir.
carry it through April?
Yes, sir. And just for a point of reference, the board last month passed a resolution that would enable the board to reimburse the district for any expenses that would be bond related should a future bond to construct the high school pass.
All right. We don't have any more questions? So, a
Okay.
recommendation?
Yes, ma'am. I recommend that the board approve the increase in the amount delegated for design fees related to new high school number 2 as presented, and delegate authority to the superintendent to negotiate such increase and execute all documents necessary to reflect the same. The increase shall include the initial pre-bond design services for this project and shall not exceed an additional $2.33 million.
Okay. So I have a recommendation from the superintendent. Do I have a motion? And do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a second from Mr. Crosco, a motion from Mr. Crosco and a second from Ms. Friesenhan. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Next item on the agenda is 11.3, approval of architectural design and construction services, work related to the new elementary school number 10. Mr. Toscano?
Yes, ma'am, Madam President, this is a very similar item. If you'll recall, in the November bond, we had a new high school and 2 elementary schools to respond to growth in Proposition B, which did not succeed. It is also time to get ahead of the design of elementary 10, should a future bond pass, so that elementary 10, which would be at 1604 and 1346, at a property the district is in the process of procuring. But in order to deliver that school on time, given the demographic enrollment projections, we need to start the design now. The good thing is that our elementary school design model that started with tradition was replicated and improved upon and adjusted for the site at Honor. We're doing the same thing at Victory. We'll be doing the same thing with number 10. So we have a base plan. The architect who designed the plan, LPA, is who we're bringing to you for your consideration tonight. They have demonstrated competence and they are qualified to do the design. What we would be asking for is an amount not to exceed $220,000. That will be the start of design between now and April to get the civil work done and pre-bond design work done on elementary number 10. So be happy to answer your questions.
Does anyone have any questions?
And this too would be reimbursable should a future bond pass.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so do I have a recommendation?
Yes, ma'am. I move that the board select LPA for the new elementary school number 10 project, including initial pre-bond design services based on their demonstrated competence and qualifications, and authorize the superintendent to negotiate and execute a contract with the architect in a form approved by legal counsel for the district for a fair and reasonable price in accordance with Texas Government Code 2254.004B, not to exceed $220,000, and further select CMAR as the delivery method for the procurement of construction services for the new elementary school number 10 project in accordance with Texas Government Code 2269.
All right, so I have a recommendation from the superintendent. Do I have a motion? And do I have a second?
Second.
So I have a motion from Ms. Friesenhan and a second from Mr. Santos. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion carries. The next item is 11.4, budget amendment number 24-25-02, local maintenance. Mr. Toscano?
Yes, ma'am. So to make all of this happen, we are proposing a budget amendment to be made to our function 81 to complete the design or continue the design at the high school through April. Also to move the money for the initial $1.2 million to cover the cost of design through November, and the additional $220,000 for the pre-bond design of elementary number 10 as previously discussed. So you'll see the increase of $3,750,000 in function 81, bringing that account balance to $5,475,635, which would be sufficient to cover said costs. Be happy to answer your questions.
Anybody else? Do I have a recommendation?
Yes, ma'am. I recommend board approval of budget amendment number 24-25-02, local maintenance, as presented.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to accept the superintendent's recommendation? And do I have a second? So I have a motion from Mr. Carrasco and a second from Ms. Friesenhan. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. And then we have item 11.5, Buckeye Cleaning Center donation. Mr. Toscano?
Yes, ma'am. Bringing to you a donation for your consideration. As you're aware, per board policy CDC local, any donation that is going to exceed $5,000 in value must be considered and eventually accepted by the board in order for the district to accept the donation. Buckeye Cleaning is a vendor that the district utilizes to source custodial supplies. They have offered to donate cleaning products and supplies that are to be removed from their inventory. Buckeye, with the board approval, Buckeye will contact our leadership of the custodial department when they have the product palleted and prepared. It's all new product, mops, buffer pads, things that we utilize that is overage in their stock that is going to be deleted from their inventory. So with your approval tonight, the district will be able to take possession of those necessary supplies. And again, the value will exceed $5,000. So happy to answer your questions.
Anybody? Okay, so do I have a recommendation?
Yes, ma'am. I recommend board approval to accept products and supplies at no cost to the district from Buckeye Cleaning as presented.
And so I have a recommendation from the superintendent. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Do I have a second? Oh. So I have a motion